Hey up everyone, Magpie Gaming here. I hope you're all doing well. So recently a viewer asked me if I would look into the new stims that were added into the game and do a brief rundown of what these stims actually do. Now it's not the usual video that I don't like to go in depth too much. It's not that I don't like to, it's just that sometimes I really can't be bothered. But these stims actually, after having a look at them, some of them are pretty useful, and the effects that some of them have will probably be beneficial to some players out there. So I thought, you know what, why not do a video? I can fit it into my schedule this weekend. So the first one we're going to look at is one of 7 that was added in with patch 12.7, and these were to coincide with Sanitar coming into the game. I think the lore of the game is that some of these all center around him and the Terror group, and I think he's managed to steal some of them and get some of them out the Terror group, and that's why him and his minions carry some of them. So yeah, let's have a look at this first one, and that is Melding. So this one is basically a recovery stim. You'll take it if you get hit or something like that, or you want to quickly get away from somewhere. So this will reduce the damage taken by 10% to your body. Other than your head, it will not reduce damage taken to the head, but if you are taking damage to your body, it can reduce that by 10% for 900 seconds. Your strength, endurance and stamina recovery are all buffed with this stimulator, and again that's for 900 seconds. Your strength is plus 10, your endurance is plus 20, and your stamina recovery is 0.5. Now with every one of these stims that we're going to look at, and indeed the vast majority of them in the game, they all have a bit of a downside to them. So the debuffs for this one are hydration recovery and energy recovery. Those are both knocked down for 900 seconds by 0.1, but the debuffs won't actually activate until 30 seconds after the buffs have worn off. So you've got a little bit of a gap before these debuffs come into effect, but they're not too big, to be fair. As long as you've got plenty of water on you and you're not looking to keep running and running, you should be alright using this one. Then we've got the AHF1-M. This is a very simple one. This is just a boost to your health. So the buffs for this one are your skill health will go up by plus 5 for 60 seconds, and it will prevent new bleeds for 60 seconds as well. So if you get hit, you won't develop a bleed for the 60 seconds that you're using this stimulator. The debuff for it is the hydration recovery. That is knocked down for 120 seconds by 0.3. The next one we're looking at is the 3-B-TG. This is a combat stimulant, so this is one of those that you're going to be wanting to take when you're in a firefight or you believe you're about to get into a firefight. It will help you during the firefight. So the buffs for this one are your retention, perception, strength and stamina recovery. They are all boosted up. Your retention is plus 30, your perception is plus 30, your strength is plus 10, and your stamina recovery is plus 1, and that is for 240 seconds. The debuffs for this are hand tremors. You will get those for 45 seconds, but you won't get that until 220 seconds after actually taking this, so it takes a little while for that one to kick in. And your energy recovery will be knocked down by 0.25, and that will last for 120 seconds, and that takes 120 seconds to kick in. So after the buffs from this stimulator, you've got a little while before the debuffs kick in, so that gives you a chance to med up, maybe sort out your mags and fill some of them up before you start to get the hand tremors, and the energy recovery is lowered. The next one is the L1. Now the word that's in the brackets, I ain't even going to try and pronounce that. I haven't got a clue. Norafine or whatever, but you know, I'll just call it L1 for the purposes of this video. Now this one is a strength and endurance stimulant, another one that maybe you want to take just after a firefight, just to boost you up a bit, especially if you haven't won that firefight and you want to get away from the area that you've had it, or you just simply want to be able to run a little bit further than you usually can. This one removes pain for 120 seconds, so it acts as a painkiller. Your skill, endurance and strength and max stamina are all boosted up by this one, so your endurance is boosted up by 10, your strength by 20 and your max stamina by plus 30, and that is for 120 seconds. The debuffs on this one will kick in straight after the buffs, and you'll receive the hydration recovery will go to 0.45, and your energy recovery will be 0.45 as well for a period of 60 seconds. So that's not a bad one one actually, the downside of that isn't too big, I don't believe, and of course it's only lasting a minute. Obviously the buffs are only lasting 2 minutes, but maybe that's all the time you need to do whatever you need to do by taking this stim, so I don't think that's a too bad one. That's kind of an all-round sort of multi-purpose stim. The next one is the P22. This is another combat stimulant. This has got 4 buffs. The damage taken is reduced by 10%, again apart from the head. If you're hitting the head, you're still going to take the same amount of damage, but anywhere else and you will take 10% less damage for 60 seconds. Your stress resistance, health and vitality are all bumped up by plus 30, and that is for 60 seconds. Then 65 seconds after that you will have a debuff to your endurance and stamina recovery. Your endurance will be minus 10 and your stamina recovery will be 0.8, and that is for a period of 60 seconds. The next one is the Mule stimulator, and this is a very simple one. It just allows you to carry more weight. It will allow you to carry 50% more weight for 900 seconds, but immediately after that you will your health regeneration will be hit with 0.1, and damage taken except to the head will be plus 9%. So if you are trying to carry more out and you're hit within those 900 seconds, your damage is going to be considerably higher than it normally would. But I guess that's the trade-off with maybe trying to get more loot out of a raid or move to another part of a raid with more loot. You know, you're going to take more damage if you are hit. And the last but not least is this one. This is the cocktail, and again I can't pronounce that second word, Obdolobos, whatever. I haven't got a clue with that. So the buffs for this one are your recovery, your endurance, strength and stress resistance and charisma are all boosted up. Your stamina recovery is boosted by 0.5, your endurance is boosted by plus 10, your strength plus 10, stress resistance plus 20 and your charisma by plus 20. Now the big thing with this one is that they are all boosted for 1800 seconds, which is a considerable amount of time to be buffed with those attributes. The downside is that there are a lot of debuffs to this. There are 8 in total, but only 5 or 6 of them will be applied to you once you have lost the positive effects to this, and these debuffs will kick in straight away once the buffs are finished. But like I say, you'll only get between 5 and 6 of them, and they are randomly picked for each time you use this stimulant. So you could end up with your memory being minus 20, your intellect being minus 20, your skill attention being minus 20. You could suffer pain for 1800 seconds or abdominal bleeding, which would be pretty bad. Your hydration recovery, you could suffer with that for 0.05. Energy recovery 0.05 as well. Damage taken except to the head will be plus 20%, which is a massive debuff there. And tunnel effect could last for 1800 seconds. So the pluses for this stimulant are amazing. Really, really good. And the chances are that you could probably maybe do a raid in the time it takes for the pluses and not actually suffer any of the debuffs, because you might be able to extract within that time. But if you do start to suffer the debuffs, you are going to suffer pretty badly depending on which ones it gives you. Obviously abdominal bleeding, you're going to end up having to med yourself constantly until you actually extract from a raid or die from it. So yeah, that is probably like the mother of all stims there. The pluses for it are very, very good, but also outweighed quite considerably by the minuses. And I think that's the same for all of the stimulants that have been added to the game. They've all got good attributes, but again they've all got a downside to them. So you're going to have to choose at what point you actually use these within a raid. You're going to have to sort of gauge the situation you're in and think, you know, is that going to help me or is it going to hinder me? Do I take it? Don't I take it? Like I say, it's going to come down to the individual, you know, situation that you're in. But yeah, those are the new stimulants that have been added to the game. You currently can't make any of these in the med station on the hideout. I'm guessing that maybe at some point in the future you might be able to cook some of these up in the hideout, but at the moment you can't. You can get these off of general scarves, you can get them off the minions that Sanitar has and Sanitar himself, and I believe that you can find them in the odd random locations where you will find medical stuff, especially in the labs map. I think there's quite a few of them knocking about on there. But if you don't want to go farm them, you can just go to the flea market and buy them if you want to. None of them are really overpriced. I think they're all generally between the price ranges of 20 to 30,000 at the moment, but obviously that's at the time of me recording this video. The market does fluctuate, so they might be wildly different by the time you come to look them up. But yeah, that is a look at the new stimulants that have been added to the game. I personally don't use that many many, but after looking into these I'm thinking, you know what, the cocktail one, I might give that a go at some point. It does look pretty cool, but the after effects, I don't know. Hopefully I could get out of a raid before those kick in. But hopefully this has informed you guys a little bit, and you know, maybe if it has, you could drop me a subscribe or just a like. That would do on the video. I would be very, very grateful for that. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching and listening. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Stay safe, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care.